Okay, so we left off with a situation where we have this order for donuts and so on, but we would really, really like to make this so that we have multiple choices, like multiple orders. This is where the while loop is going to be very, very helpful. So the while loop allows us to go through a loop as often as we would like. So why don't we create first a variable and we're going to call it order. And meaning if we want an order, that's we're going to set to the Boolean expression true. So meaning that if the order is true, that means we're going to go through a while loop to get the order. And it's going to make a little more sense in just a moment. So I'm going to go underneath my part here. It says collect donut order. So I'm going to say, hey, while order is true, which it is to start things off because we're here in the program to make an order. So it makes sense that the order is true to start things off. We're then going to collect the order choices. So I'm actually going to take this print statement here so that this will be every time they make an order, they're going to be reminded of what their choices are. So I'm going to just take that and I'm going to pluck that in here. Oh, and I forgot. I definitely need colon so that it'll insert to the next line. Hit paste, and there we have our print order. So you see that indentation, that is very important. So now the user order is going to be collected. Notice that I also needed to indent that as well. So there we go. So we have print, here's your order, and then what would you like to order? What we need to decide then is to give the user an opportunity to let us know, are you done your order or would you like to make another order? So let's do that. So what we're going to say is basically ask them. So another order, it sounds like a great variable name for this. Again, if we're asking for the input of the end user, we need to use a function input. Would you like to make another order? So would you like to make another order? And we need to communicate how they would like to say, how we want to determine if they wanted to do that or not. So I'm going to say, please type yes or no. Note that I have I have them uppercase letters, but even if the end user does not type in capitals, I'm going to take care of that. So using some methods that we have learned in class. So we'll cover that in just a second. So now we have to make a decision. So if they say yes, okay, we need to continue. If they say no, we need to stop. So this sounds very much like a conditional situation, so conditional statements, and it sounds like an if or an else situation. So if, and we've done these many times, if another order is yes, so if they say yes above, then we're going to continue. So that means let's keep the order to be true. So by doing that, that means it's going to keep going through the while loop because the order is still true because we still want to do it. Else would be the alternative. So if they don't say yes, well, then it's a no. So we don't have to get fancy here. We don't have to do an elif. We're just going to do else. We're just going to do an else. Because if it didn't say yes, they said no. And that would then be, or anything else that didn't make sense. So anything that wasn't a yes. So the order is going to change to false. So if my false Boolean here changes to false, that means if it's going to try to go through my while loop again, it's like, no, you can't get through. It's now false. So that means you are no longer going to take any more orders. Before I test this code, I do want to do one little thing. I mentioned that if, let's say, the end user didn't type in yes or no in the capitalization, and yes is really what I'm focusing on, of course, I can take care of that. We talked about using things like dot upper, dot lower, dot title. And in this case, if I want them to be uppercase letters, I'm going to do dot upper, which means they can type yes, all lowercase. It could be a mixture of upper and lower, but regardless, in the end, it will be read as being all uppercase so that I know that if it says yes, it'll go to true rather than false. Let's see where we're at. Let's run this. Oh, while order, oh, I forgot one thing that's really important. It has to be while order is equal to true. So it has to be able to check it. So it's not an equal sign. It has to be double equal sign. So that's a very common mistake. So I'm actually quite happy that I made that mistake so that I can draw attention to that. Oh, and I did it again. Again, I need to compare. If another order dot upper is yes, so again, it's not setting it equal to that. It's asking, is it equal to this? Which is why we need to have the double equal sign. And now let's run it. Let's put in, let's say we have Zara as a name. Hi, Zara. Here are your donut choices: chocolate, cinnamon, jelly, and lemon. And let's say she's going to order jelly. And would you like to make another order? Look at that. We have another option now. Yes, I would like to make another order. And I'm going to do it all in lowercase. And there's the donut choices again. So let's say lemon. Would you like to make another order? No. And then it quits. It stops exactly what I wanted. So this is great. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pause here because I'm going to take it to the next level because now I want to communicate, well, what was your order and what does that look like? And I probably want to clean up some of this output as well so that we have some spaces in between. So stay tuned. That will be in the next video.